In a world governed by aristocrats, where class divides are law and cruelty is routine, how does one man rise, not simply to survive but to reshape society itself, not as a villain but as a revolutionary anarchist, a man who wields crime like a scalpel, dissecting a corrupt society to rebuild it anew. But to truly understand his mission, we must turn to Friedrich Nietzsche and his radical concept of the will to power. Is Moriarty Nietzsche's ideal of the Übermensch, a self-made god who transcends morality, or does his revolution reveal the dark abyss of unchecked ambition? Let's dive in. Moriarty the Patriot is set in 19th century Britain, a world stratified by an unbreakable class system. Nobles live in obscene luxury, while the poor rot in crime-ridden slums. In this society, justice is a lie. The law protects wealth, not morality. It's a world that needs a radical change, and Moriarty decides to become the architect of that change. But unlike a traditional revolutionary who rallies the masses, Moriarty chooses a different path. He becomes crime itself. He engineers murders, scandals, and public spectacles, all designed to collapse the rotten system from within. Why? Because he believes in creating a better world, not simply pleading for it. This is our first clue that Moriarty's worldview echoes Nietzsche's philosophy. Before we go deeper into Moriarty's character, let's talk about Nietzsche. Friedrich Nietzsche was a 19th century German philosopher famous for challenging traditional morality, religion, and society. One of his central ideas is the will to power. Put simply, the will to power is the fundamental drive in all living things, not just to survive but to expand, to assert themselves, to create new values and shape the world according to their own vision. It's about becoming more than what you are. It's about overcoming limits, even moral ones, to impose your will on reality. The will to power isn't just ambition or dominance, it's the primal force behind creativity, growth, and transformation. For Nietzsche, even morality is a tool of power, created by the weak to control the strong, or by the strong to impose a new world. Nietzsche's Superman, or Übermensch, is the person who fully embraces this will to power, rising above herd morality to create a new order. Sound familiar? Now, let's see how Moriarty fits into this framework. Let's look at William James Moriarty. He's not born into nobility. He's a self-made man, adopted into the aristocracy, but never truly part of it. And early in life, he recognizes the sheer injustice of the world around him. Moriarty isn't just a genius, he's a force of nature. Like Nietzsche's Übermensch, he doesn't beg for change, he imposes it. When the law protects a noble who murders the powerless, Moriarty doesn't protest. He becomes the law, judge, jury, and executioner. His famous line, "The only way to rid the world of evil is to become evil itself," isn't a confession. It's a manifesto. He operates beyond good and evil, not because he lacks morality, but because he sees traditional morality as a tool of oppression. Yet here's the Nietzschean twist: Moriarty's will isn't just destructive, it's creative. He doesn't kill nobles at random, he crafts their downfalls as public spectacles, using their sins to expose the system's rot. In Nietzsche's terms, he's not a slave to resentment. He's an artist of vengeance, sculpting a new world from the ashes of the old. But Nietzsche's will to power has a warning: whoever fights monsters must see to it that he does not become a monster. And Moriarty treads that razor's edge. He saves orphans from abuse, but also manipulates a traumatized boy into becoming his weapon. He murders cruel aristocrats, but also sacrifices innocence as collateral. Is this the Übermensch's self-overcoming, or is it the moment the revolutionary becomes the tyrant? The anime's genius is that it never answers. Moriarty's final act, choosing death to cement his legacy, mirrors Nietzsche's idea of the highest sacrifice. But is it triumph, or proof that no one can wield absolute power and remain human? Is he justified? From a Nietzschean perspective, Moriarty is beyond good and evil. He isn't weighed down by conventional morality. But from a human perspective, his methods are chilling. But no philosophy exists in a vacuum. To test his will, Moriarty needs a worthy opponent, one who sees the same broken world but chooses a different answer. Enter Sherlock Holmes. In Moriarty the Patriot, Sherlock isn't just a detective. He's Moriarty's equal, and in some ways, his mirror. Sherlock, too, is a man of extraordinary intellect. He too refuses to be bound by society's norms, but he channels his abilities into solving crimes within the system, not destroying it. If Moriarty is Dionysian chaos, destruction for the sake of rebirth, then Sherlock is Apollonian order, clarity, structure, reason. Their rivalry isn't just a clash of minds, but of worldviews. Sherlock channels his power to uphold structure. Moriarty uses his to tear it down. Their duel mirrors Nietzsche's idea of eternal struggle as the essence of life. Their rivalry is more than a battle of wits. It's a philosophical clash. Can the world be changed from within, or must it be torn down and rebuilt? Sherlock is Moriarty's greatest obstacle, and, paradoxically, the only man who can truly understand him. Their cat-and-mouse game is a battle of ideas as much as a battle of intelligence. But is Moriarty truly free, or is he trapped by his own ideals? As Moriarty Moriarty the Patriot reaches its climax, William faces the ultimate question. How far is he willing to go to achieve his vision? Nietzsche's Superman is supposed to affirm life, to create new values joyfully. But Moriarty's path is marked by blood, grief, and loneliness. In the end, Moriarty chooses self-destruction. He embraces death, not because he's defeated, but because his death will complete his revolution. It's an act of ultimate will. He chooses how he dies, on his terms, for his cause. This final act mirrors Nietzsche's idea that the highest individuals must sometimes sacrifice themselves to create a better future. In dying, he transcends mortality and becomes a myth. Moriarty the Patriot isn't just a Sherlock Holmes spin-off, it's a Nietzschean tragedy about power, morality, and revolution. Through the lens of Nietzsche's will to power, we see William James Moriarty not as a simple villain or hero, but as something far more complex. A creator of values, a destroyer of systems, a tragic figure who dared to reshape the world and paid the price. William James Moriarty dares what most wouldn't, to stare into Nietzsche's abyss and laugh, to wield the will to power as both weapon and vision. But in the end, the abyss stares back. His legacy forces us to ask, is any ideal worth becoming a monster? And if we had the power to remake the world, would we survive what we've become? He dies not as a man, but as an idea, an immortal rebellion against injustice. And like all ideas born of fire and blood, his legacy is tainted by blood, but carved into history. In the end, Moriarty teaches us that true change demands not only strength, but also the courage to walk a path no one else dares tread. And that path is never without cost. Drop your thoughts below. Was Moriarty a hero, a villain, or something beyond? Is Moriarty's fate tragic or triumphant? Does Moriarty's will live on in the new world he created? Let me know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this analysis, don't forget to like and subscribe for more deep dives into anime and philosophy. Until next time, stay dangerous. Thank you for watching.